Okay, so in lesson 22, we're going to be learning about a new type of loop. This is, in a sense, a combination of different things you've already been doing, but it's just a different way of, I guess, coding those loops. So let's take a look at it. We're looking at the for loop. So for a variable that you set, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a starting value. This is the number you start with, and this is going to be the number you end with, and it's going to keep counting to those numbers by this much. So it's going to increase according to this loop. It's going to start at 4, it's going to increase by 2 each time, and it's going to stop when it gets to 10. So this is the repeating loop array. You don't need to have another repeat loop for this counter. Okay, it's going to repeat with the value 4. It's so that's 1 time, then 6, so that's 2 times, 8, so that's 3 times, and 10, so that's going to be 4 times. So let's take a look at how we could use that, and that's going to essentially be this puzzle right here. What we're going to have to do is we're going to start with the counter loop, the for loop, I'm sorry. We're going to use the variable to give us counter. We're going to start with 1, and we're going to end with 7. Okay, so now I'm kind of thinking ahead and planning. Okay, well, what values do I need? How many times I'm going to repeat this? I'm going to repeat this 7 times because there's 7 flowers. 7 patches, I'm sorry. 7 patches of flowers I'm going to need. So what I'm going to do is each time, each loop, I'm going to move forward. And then the number of nectar I collect, I'm going to use a repeating loop this time. And it's going to be based on the counter. So here, the counter starts at 1. I'm going to collect 1. Here, I'm going to collect 2. Here, I'm going to collect 3. It goes up by 1 each time. Okay, so, and then we end it when we get to 7. Okay, 1 loop, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, and we'll notice that it does indeed work. Okay, the next puzzle we're going to look at is puzzle 9. Okay, here we have, it's going to be similar actions, except the increment, the steps are going to change. Okay, so the first question, we notice that the nectar's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. What increments should we increase by each time? Well, since this increases by 3 each time, we're going to use the value of 3 for the step. So let's first of all make sure we set the starting value. We want to start at 3, and we're going to end with 15. And we're going to count by 3 each time. So my movements are going to be the same. I'm going to move forward, turn right, move forward, turn left, and then collect the nectar. So the values that change is and what we're going to use the counter for is just collecting the nectar, just like before. So I'm going to move forward, turn right, move forward, turn left. And then we're going to have a repeating loop. We're going to repeat counter number of times. So right here, I just move the B towards this flower. And we're going to, oops, we already did that. We're going to get the nectar counter number of times. So we're going to start at 3, then it's going to go to 6, then 9, then 12, then 15. So rather than us reassigning the variables each time like we've done in the past, we're going to just use this for loop. Let's go ahead and run it, and we're going to notice that it does indeed work. Okay, so the biggest thing is to really consider that this is just another type of repeating loop. Okay, and the last one I'm going to go over is puzzle 11 because I think some of us, many of us will have some trouble with this. So we are going to be using the math block now, similar to what you've done in the past. We are going to start with the counter. Okay. So let's take a look at the values that we have. Okay, so what we notice is, well, the bee's gonna move. We're gonna do the turning. The turning is gonna be consistent. I'm noticing that the bee's gonna have to turn left and then move forward, and then when he gets to end, turn left, move forward. So he's always gonna be turning left. We know that. Let's take a look at the movements. Here, when he goes down, he's gonna move one time. I know it's a little hard to see that. Here he's going to move, when he goes right, he's going to move 2. He's going to move 3 up, 4, and then 5. Okay, so I'm looking for patterns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think already that's going to be where the counter comes in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set this counter from 1 to 5. We're going to count by ones. And let's just get started. We're going to turn left. We're going to have a repeating loop. And we're going to use the counter number of times. And we're just going to move forward that many times. Okay. Now the next thing to consider is getting the nectar. Okay. So as far as getting the nectar goes, we have 3. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. So those increments are going to be increasing by 3s each time. Since we can't, I don't think we have the option of making separate variables, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the original amount. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what I notice is that when I move one time, I grab 3 nectars. When I move 2 times, I grab 6. When I move 3 times, I grab 9, 12, 15. So thinking back to our math classes is really, well, we just multiply it by 3 each time. Okay, so using that knowledge, what I'm going to do now is for my loop to collect the nectar. Let's even put that in first. We can't just use the counter because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have to use the math block. And for this one, we're going to do the number of movements, or the counter. Where's the counter? Right, how many times you move was just the counter, times 3. And when I do this and run it, we're going to notice that it does indeed collect all the nectar. Okay, so this is the last one I'm going to go over in this video. Feel free to attend tutoring if you feel like you're stuck. Some of us are a little bit behind. Please try your best to get caught up. Attend tutoring. It's Thursdays at 12:30. It will really help if you feel like you're a little bit lost.